Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to Turner Mobile Detailing. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a number of steps to help you become a better detailer. You're going to be able to take your detailing skills from merely cleaning a car to actually detailing a car. You'd be surprised how many of the little aspects of detailing other guys miss. Remember, we're not just cleaning cars, we're detailing cars. These skills are going to help differentiate you between other competitor detailers in the area. And best of all, you'll be able to justify charging more money for your services because you deliver a very high quality service. So we're doing an interior and exterior detail on this Toyota Highlander you see behind me. I'm going to bring you in periodically to show you, again, the little details of what separates just mere car cleaning from auto detailing. Let's get started. Now the first point I'm going to be showing you today may seem a little on the obvious side, but that's cleaning our rubber or plastic floor mats or floor liners. You'd be surprised at how many times a customer will tell me that they hired a detailer to come to their house, or they brought their car to a detail shop and they merely sprayed down their floor mats. Now if you've ever cleaned rubber or plastic floor mats before, you know that they collect a lot of dirt and grime, a lot of sticky stuff, even bubble gum, and the plastic actually will absorb the dirt, especially mud. So just merely spraying them down, they may look clean while they're wet, especially dark colored floor mats like especially black, but then once they dry, they still look dirty even though they're free of any loose debris. So they really need to be scrubbed with a good cleaner and a good scrubbing brush. Now I'm going to be using Super Clean, diluted about 4:1, and a good stiff bristle tire brush to do my scrubbing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is give the mats a good spray down with a strong burst of water, either from a pressure washer or a garden hose, to get all the loose dirt and debris off the floor mats. It's always a good idea to shake off some of the standing water so that the cleaner that you spray on doesn't get overly diluted. And then just spray the cleaner on the mat liberally and give it a good scrub down. And then finally, a rinse. So the second detailing point that we're going to cover today is cleaning our door jambs. Door jambs are what separate the interior from the exterior of the vehicle. And imagine you hand the keys back to the customer, the vehicle is completely detailed inside and out. At first look, they love the exterior, and then when they open the door to take their first look at the interior, they see a ring of dirt separating them from their nice, new, clean interior. Make sure to reach deep inside the door hinge area, get all the little components, all the places that dirt and grime love to hide. In some places you still will need a detail brush. I recommend using something of the lower, cheaper quality because they will get pretty abused. Now don't forget to do your B-pillars. You're going to have to open up your second row door in order to really clean the B-pillar. And don't forget to clean the little lip or the gasket that slides behind the front door that's on the front edge of the rear passenger door. And that brings us to point number 3. Being aware of and taking care of any scuffs on plastic surfaces. Here we see some scuffing on the center console area in the back seat between the two middle row captain's chairs. The magic eraser and a little goof off makes quick work of any plastic scuffing, as long as the plastic itself is not physically damaged. Now remember, cleaning some of these areas will require a little bit more effort, but remember, you want that wow factor when the customer sees their vehicle for the first time after you've finished. And voila, like brand new. And then we see something very common, scuffs on the lower interior plastic door panels, in this case on the driver's side. These scuffs typically happen when the driver gets out of the vehicle and the door isn't either open far enough or the driver swings their foot a little too far out and the tip of their shoe scuffs the inside of the plastic door panel. Look at that, good as new. So detailing point number 4 is cleaning your air vents after you've detailed the interior of the vehicle, particularly the front dash. Now of course I always use a detail brush and a blast of steam along with a microfiber afterward to clean my air vents. However, those tools really don't get down deep enough to remove all the dust and even sometimes dirt and debris that can get stuck down inside the air vents, places you can see but you can't reach. And it can be frustrating because especially on the driver's side, the front air vent that's just to the left of the steering wheel, if the driver's side of the vehicle is facing the sun and you go to get in your car, the first thing you see is that air vent and the sun is illuminating that air vent and everything that's stuck inside it. So you really need a tool that gets down deep inside there to get all that debris and dust that's just out of reach. So I use one of these. Now this is actually called an air vent cleaning tool. It's basically just a sheet of plastic or a piece of plastic with a handle on it. It's actually got a soft bristle, synthetic bristle little brush on the other side. The air vent side, just a piece of plastic with a microfiber sleeve wrapped around it. It was about $5, give or take or so, on Amazon. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below for it if you'd like to pick one up for yourself. But to be honest, you could probably make something like this with a standard putty knife and wrapping a microfiber towel around it. So let me show you real quick how well it works. Now again, these weren't the dirtiest air vents in the world to begin with. You can see that there's not really a lot of dust deep down in there. But for the sake of this video, just pretend there is. And the air vent cleaner reaches right down in there, nice and easy. Doesn't leave anything behind. The only thing it does leave behind is a nice clean and dust-free air vent. Okay, point number 5 is don't forget the seat feet. Now what I like to call seat feet are obviously the feet of the seats. So right here, we're in the back seat, and you have the back of the front seat here and the front of the back seats here, and they all have these protective plastic boots on them. Sometimes they get a little loose and they may come off or pop off on you, but don't be afraid of that. You just pop them right back on. But the most important thing is you want to make sure they get cleaned, because obviously they're at the bottom of the interior. They collect dirt, dust, stuff from people's shoes, and most of the time they're a dark color, like they're black in this vehicle, and obviously they need to be cleaned. So it's very simple. Just give them a wipe down with the microfiber. I usually use one of the microfibers that I was using to clean one of the interior door panels. They've already got cleaner on them. They're not terribly dirty, but I wouldn't use them to clean another interior door panel. So I just use them for something like this. And also inside the front of the rear seats, and also the front of the front seats, where the seat slides, the track, make sure you slide your towel in and out of there a couple times, because there's some grease in there that helps the seat to glide easier, obviously. And dirt and grime love to collect in grease. Grease loves to hold on to dirt and grime. It's a symbiotic relationship. So make sure you clean some of that out of there. You obviously don't want to clean too much out of there because the seat needs the grease to work properly. But nonetheless, the areas that you can see the most, make sure you clean those out. And Just one more nice little touch to help the vehicle look brand new when you're all said and done. Okay, so now as we move on to the glass, that brings us to detailing point number 6. Now I know I've discussed this in other videos, but I feel it's important enough to make mention again in this video. Don't forget the edge of your door glass. All this dirt and grime likes to hide on the top edge of the window glass, and it hides up inside the window frame, and it's very seldom cleaned. Simply drop the glass to halfway so that the whole top edge of the glass is exposed, and then clean that dirty edge on the inside and outside. Just another little detail that'll set you apart from the competition. Once that's done, just close the window and finish cleaning the inside of the glass. Now I'm just about done with the glass, but I typically do this last, after I've done the inside of the windshield and the inside of the sunroof. In this case, we want to make sure we do the rear view mirror and also the vanity mirrors on the inside of the sun visors. Now the rear view mirror doesn't typically get that dirty. Maybe it gets some sneeze debris. Is that the right term? Sneeze debris? Either way, it can get a little bit of gunk on it. There are a few spots on this mirror. And don't forget to wipe the top edge of the mirror, because that can collect a little bit of dust. And usually the vanity mirrors within the sun visors don't get that dirty either. Maybe a few fingerprints. But also, don't forget to clean the sun visor itself a little bit. Just give it a quick wipe down, because it can collect some oils from hands touching it, pulling it down. And lastly, from this area, the upper center console area, these areas again can get littered with fingerprints and touch oils. So just want to give it a quick wipe down. Again, nothing too intense. Even one little fingerprint on glass or on a mirror can ruin an entire detail. Now point number 8, I just want to make quick mention that when you're vacuuming, make sure to move your seats back and forth all the way so you can clean underneath them properly. In this case, we're working in the back seat. We've moved the front driver's seat all the way to the front, and likewise when I was vacuuming the front, I had the seat moved all the way to the back. This way I can get all the way underneath, get all the debris that falls down and gets stuck underneath the seat that hardly ever gets seen, but we want to make sure we get it all out of there. And also don't forget to use a little detail brush or some other little crevice tool to get inside all the little small areas that you can't necessarily get your vacuum into, like the area between the seat foot and the body molding, the interior body molding here. There's only about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch worth of space. Not big enough to get my crevice vacuum tool in there, but I can get my little mini detail brush inside here and scrub the debris loose, and in most cases pull it right out of there so that I can get at it easier with my vacuum. Even right up against plastic components, plastic body moldings, interior moldings, you can get the debris right on out of there and out into the open where I can easily get it with my vacuum. Now in some cases you may need to actually pop off those seat feet in order to vacuum in between the seat foot and, in this case, seat belt anchor. Neither one budges too much, and it's too narrow even for my detail brush. But don't worry, they pop back on nice and easy. Now for the middle row seat, you can see we make sure that we move it all the way back so that we can clean underneath it properly. So detailing point number 9 is definitely an optional one, and that is dressing the floor mats. Now before you laugh me off YouTube, just hear me out. I just finished dressing the entire interior, all the plastics, all the hardened touch surfaces with Meguiar's Hyper Dressing diluted about 4:1. Now we're going to dress the rubber floor mats with the same stuff. Now if you notice what they look like before, even though they're clean, black plastic and rubber can still look a little faded, a little dull. So just to give it a little bit more life, we're going to put some dressing on it. Now maybe you're thinking, won't the dressing make the mats slippery and even a hazard when getting in and out of the vehicle? And the truth is, yes and no. If you put too much, if it's too heavily concentrated, then yes, you run the risk of being slippery and even a hazard. However, I've got this stuff diluted about 4:1, maybe a little heavier, maybe about 3.5 to 4:1, and it leaves a nice subtle sheen. And we're just going to put a very light layer of dressing on the floor mats, just enough to deepen the black color, give it a very subtle matte sheen, and make them look a little bit better than they do. And the nice thing about a water-based dressing is that it dries, so it won't leave a oily residue on the surface to be slippery, but it'll be dry, so it won't be slippery or hazardous. So we just mist a little product onto the rubber mat. We mist a little onto our towel, and then we just work it into the rubber. Now mats like this can be a little harder to do because they have deep fins for catching liquids, but just a little extra time and they come out beautiful. So if you remember what the mats looked like before, they were dull and they were a little on the faded side. And now after they've been lightly dressed, they've got a nice deep matte black look with a very subtle sheen, and they look better than new. Okay, so we've moved to the outside of the vehicle, and that brings us to point number 10. Clean the inside of the gas cap. This little area can often be overlooked as you clean the outside of the vehicle, but really it's a major trap for dirt, grime, oils, all kinds of gunk that gets thrown up on the outside of your vehicle and then washed down in the rain, and it all gets caught inside the gas cap area. Depending on the age of the vehicle and the level of dirtiness within the gas cap area, you may need to supplement your car soap with some degreaser. So it doesn't take long. Just pop the gas cap door, grab a detail brush, scrub it down, and then rinse it out. Okay, so now for our 11th and final little detail. And we're going right back to where we started, our door jambs. We've just finished the exterior washing process. We're about to start waxing, but I'm letting the vehicle drip dry just a little bit more, letting the water weep out of the little cracks and crevices a little bit more until I start waxing. So in the meantime, I'm going to go right back to the door jambs, dry them off, and make sure they're nice and clean. I've got the same drying towel that I use to dry the whole vehicle. I've wrung it out so it's a little damp, so it's nice and primed to absorb water and not leave any streaks behind. So making sure the door jambs are not only clean, but dried off after the washing process, which ensures there's no water spotting, is very important. Door jambs can be easily overlooked. It's not a major part of the vehicle, but they contribute greatly to the overall look and feel of a detailed vehicle. And dirty door jambs, even door jambs that are left wet and unwiped down, or even if they've dried and left water spots, can seriously detract from the most beautiful detail job. Alright everyone, that's all I've got for you today. Okay, hold on everybody. I've got one last detailing point for you. Before I forget, it's about cleaning our wheels. Now when you're done with the whole entire vehicle, in this case, this vehicle is completely done, even the tires have been dressed. It's important to inspect your wheels. And I really wanted to show you on a car that had intricately spoked wheels, just like this Lexus does. and also on a vehicle that either had gloss black wheels or, as in this case, has got a dark color like black or a dark gray inset on the spokes, and that's machine faced. So our final detailing tip, I think it's either 10, 11, maybe 12. As you already know, I lost count a while back, is before you call the vehicle done, and especially before you hand the keys back to the client, make sure you inspect your wheels. When you do your initial wheel cleaning, it can be very easy to miss a spot here and there. Now traditionally, to clean wheels, I use my Nanoskin flag tip wheel brush or a chenille wash mitt. Now the advantage to the chenille wash mitt is that I can put this on my hand. I can even mold it around my fingers while my hand is in there, and I can get in all these intricate spaces much easier, much more efficiently, and it can do a much better job so that I don't miss any spots. But just in case, again, before you're done, you want to inspect your wheels. So typically what I do, I just take a clean microfiber towel and I wrap it either around 1 or 2 fingers and I go to town. Something else to be aware of is that if your wheels haven't completely dried by the time you're done detailing the entire vehicle, say it's been in the shade the whole time or the weather is a little on the cooler side, you want to make sure you clean all that water off, even if there's no dirty spots. That way there's no water spots left over on the clear coat of the wheels, and also you don't want the customer to see water droplets on their wheels, which would give a very unfinished look. Now something else to be aware of is the water or potential wheel cleaner that is left over inside your lug nut recesses. Sometimes if you don't rinse them out properly, or even if you think you did, and there's still some cleaner left over inside those lug nut recesses, as you're detailing the rest of the vehicle after you've already cleaned your wheels, sometimes that cleaner can weep down your wheels and then dry, especially if the wheel's in the sun, and leave some nasty marks on the face or inside the spokes of that wheel. So you want to be aware of that and make sure you clean them off. Okay, this wheel is looking really good. Let's now head back to the main video. I hope you enjoyed this content, and I really hope these 11 points can help you become a better detailer or even just a better weekend warrior. If you put them into practice, at least most of them, they can go a long way in differentiating you from your competition if you are a professional detailer. And best of all, hopefully they can help you make more money because your services will be worth that much more. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you did find value in this content, please don't hesitate to give us a like right down below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. That way you won't miss any future auto detailing content just like this. So as always, I'm Seth with Turner Mobile Detailing, and we'll see you in the next video.